don't have to be a witch to put a spell on a man.
Oh.
Mm.
Mm.
Yes, today we're going to talk about a woman's enchantment.
Mm.
Mm. And how every man, when he sees a woman, is just fascinated, mesmerized by her beauty, by her movement, by her presence. And some of them try to pretend like they're not completely enchanted. It's just walking by. They're trying very, very hard. And it's very sweet and endearing. Um, but they are all absolutely enchanted by our presence, our beauty.
Yeah.
And yes, Alia.
I said, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
And we as women have the power to either make them great, make them our gentlemen, our heroes, or we can turn them into a frog.
And the best
And
scenario.
eat them for dinner.
And eat them for dinner. Yes, yes. So it's called a spell, right?
Curse.
A curse. Yes, yes. And it's funny enough when the woman puts a curse on the man, she also puts a curse on herself because she's not really getting what she wants, you know. So I would love to start with the story that is in Mia's book, the How to Talk to Men book, and we spoke about it in our last Harmony in the Home. This is the book, and the story talks about a young man who was didn't take a really good path and became like a burglar and was growing up in a really tough neighborhood, and then he became a burglar, and then he went to prison. Then he came out, and long just short after he came out of the prison, he was in the neighborhood, and then again the burglaries started to happen. And then one day he was walking down the street and he noticed a girl, a farmer girl, and she was walking, and he stood in front of her, and he looked her up and down, and he said, you know, there's a dance on Saturday night. I'd like for you to come with me. And she looked him up and down, and she said, if you were a gentleman, I would.
Oh.
Oh.
And he moved out of the way, and she kept on walking, and then just in the next days, suddenly everyone, all the houses started to receive packages back that they were stolen from their houses. And then, you know, he returned everything. And in the Saturday night he went there, and she was there, and then they spoke and they hit it off, and then they got married. And then they started an organization to assist young troubled men to become good men.
That's amazing.
I know. I wanted to take a breath too. And how interesting, and it's all in this book, that one sentence one sentence changed the whole life of this man, of her life, of their marriage, of their business together, of their project, and how they're assisting other men to become better men. One sentence: if you were a gentleman, I would.
Instead of talking too much, right?
Yes, so this is the way that we enchant men. We make them better just by this one sentence. In different situations, use different sentences. But also there's the tone and different senses that you could use to put a curse on him, right? Or put a spell on him that makes them want to, hurt you and play against the woman. So this is, would love for us to talk about that today a little bit. And what is your experience in that?
It's a good one. It's a good one. It actually got me to just kind of process the men that I like. I meet a lot of men for business, right? Like in one of my tasks is to enroll new people into our programs, and also I meet a lot of men in the world of business, and it's just interesting that a word can make them like shine in your eyes. I know this one guy that I met, and this was at the Tower Club in Virginia, and I want this like long-term friendship with this man. And if he's watching, he's gonna know who he is. I was picking up food and he was picking up food, and I was watching him, and I literally just stood there and watched him. And he kind of looked up and down, and I said, and I was like, you play football? And he's like, huh? And I said, did you play football? He said, I did. And I said, huh, I see the football swagger in you. And he just like, who are you? Because I started laughing, and he's like, I'm this and this. And I said, and I'm this and this. And we just walked to the side, and I just like, I could feel his heart. And like, since then we have this really strong relationship. And every time that I call him Mr. Sunshine, because he's one of those people that brings that bright light into the room. And I can just see like how it would be easy to just ignore him also, just because he's just there kind of doing his own thing and getting food and in his own business. But I just took that chance to like, what's with this one? Like, what's interesting about this man? So
Yeah, you noticed him.
I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it just came to you to say that.
Yeah.
It's not like you were planning
No.
to say that. You turned and you saw, and then you said it.
And I was watching him for a little while. I was watching him walk. There was something about him. And then when he was getting food, he was just like really into the food and just grabbing food. And I was like, did you play football? And he's just who are you? And he shares that story of how we met with everybody. He's like, she just walks over. He's like, did you play football? And I said it with that like playfulness, also just kind of like, did you play football? Like, I still remember that. He scared me. Yeah, so they truly, this might come across maybe not, well, it might come across weird to some people, but men are just little boys, and they just want to be noticed by women. And especially if you are kind with it, and you're like kind with noticing them and just acknowledging them. I just acknowledged how he had this swagger, and he actually does. He's got that, the confident walk. And I just noticed it, and all of a sudden he's like, she sees me.
Exactly.
That's all they want. They just want everybody wants that, just to be seen.
Attention, admiration.
Yes. Yeah. And firm, kind and firm.
Firm. Yes.
Yes.
Did you play football? That was very firm.
Oh yeah, that was very firm.
It was more like I was telling him that he played football than I was asking him. Tell me you did. it's true, and it doesn't take much. It's just literally just noticing people and seeing them for who they are. Um,
And you use the tools, communications, our lovely tools.
Our lovely
lovely too.
communication
Acknowledgement.
tools. Ooh.
Grateful, appreciation,
Acknowledgement,
acknowledgement,
playfulness. Yeah.
like a connection. That's interesting. Yeah. Just
Mhm.
thinking what I can share, because just noticing there as if people they do something nice, just let them know that you notice that. Like I always share the story when I went to the court and I needed some help with my paperwork, and they have attorney they help for free to the public so they can help with the paperwork, and I just was in the line and just also observing the guy. He was like he was so into the serve the people. He was just like even his clothes he put very professional looking guy. And when I just approach him, I say, I really I just realize how much you love your work and you're in service. He was like you will see how he changed that. Oh, thank you, thank you so much. Because of for free and people coming there like taking as a granted and they don't even appreciate that. And of course he get his salary whatever, but when you say that warm um acknowledgement or any words like thank you, even just thank you, they are really appreciated. Just noticing that even if somebody opened the door for you or letting you go first, or I don't know, anything like helping to take something, or you can always say thank you. I just that really works. And they will have like I know it will change their day. Actually they will feel good about that.
Yeah, that lights you up, Gazala. You're so sweet when you say that. Just say thank you, thank you,
Yes,
thank you.
so easy, right?
So
Doesn't it's
easy.
very it's free. Just
You're actually quite the master at this, saying like one sentence and then you put people into action just by noticing and saying what you see.
no, right?
Really? Oh, good one.
Thank you.
Well, you did it with Aaliyah, and you did it with me. I know I don't know if I shared it here, but I didn't have really nice light on the Zoom. Sometimes I don't have nice lights. And Guzal, on one of the Zoom calls, Guzal noticed that my man has a really nice light, and it brightens his screen, and he looks so good. And so she just chatted him, and she said, "Oh wow, your light looks so good on Zoom. Polina's doesn't look so good, as good as yours." That was amazing because I was trying to have him fix my light for like a month. Then suddenly, after that comment, then I went out and I come home and all the lights are set up, everything is set up, my Zoom is set up, everything looks amazing. I said, "What happened?" He said, "Oh, Guzal said my light looks good, but yours it doesn't look as good." So of course he like became that, I gotta protect her, gotta save her, gotta make sure that her light looks great. You didn't tell him what to do. You didn't make, yeah, you just
Actually, I didn't have any agenda. I just told him what I see and share that. Yeah, actually, it was a little. I sell it. No, actually, I realized. Actually, I said that with some, not the agenda, but it just okay. But I mean,
it was
for me,
just a comment. I don't think
yeah,
it
it's a
was
comment.
like,
Yeah,
"Oh, go do something." It was
no,
more like, "Here you have an opportunity to fix her light. If you want to, you can do it. If not, that's okay too. But I'm just letting you know, It's not looking so good.
Hey man, what's going on, right?
Yeah.
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 Again, like you say, one sentence can change
Mhm.
a lot.
Yeah, and then I get on Zoom, and then my light is working all the time. Good. Well, except maybe today because I'm in the room.
I need to write him again.
Please. This time, ask him to about the light in a different room if that's set up or something.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
This reminds me of a story when I went to speak with a group of former NFL players.
Mhm.
And I brought a sheet with some of our tools. And I asked them to write 8 acknowledgements and or appreciations for themselves on a piece of paper. And then one for somebody in the room.
Mm,
And,
mm,
I remember everybody's sitting there writing. And then one guy was like, this is so weird. Like, I've never written an appreciation to myself. Like, it's weird, really, Aaliyah, like, it's weird. And I said, well, try it, like, see, it could be very simple. It could be, I appreciate myself for writing these acknowledgements or for talking to Aaliyah about it. And said, okay, okay. And then this other guy just sat there like this. And I said, you're not writing. He said, oh, I won't. And I said, why not? He said, I'm not doing that. I don't need appreciations, and I do all these things, and my wife is going to be like weirded out if I had to write appreciations for myself. And I said, okay, well, write something that you appreciate yourself for doing at home. It's like, no, I wash dishes at home, and I'm not sitting there waiting for somebody to appreciate me. And I said, I understand. That's good that you're not waiting. But imagine just for a moment that you wash dishes and she walks over to you and says, honey, you washed the dishes.
Oh.
He just sat there. He got so red and you could see like he was hiding the smile, but then finally the smile went up. He said, oh, hell no, that's not happening. She's not going to do that to me. And I said, well, I appreciate you for saying that. And he's like, so he kind of like went back and forth with me, and I kept kind of going with him for probably for about 5 minutes. We were going back and forth back, and he was really confrontational about it. But then finally he was like, well, I guess it would feel good receiving that.
I feel good, right?
So could you write 3 of them? Like, could I help you with it? And he yielded into that, right? So I yielded to him first, and he yielded into that. And then it was funny because he wrote only 3 things. And so then I had everybody share, like, okay, so you share. And then it's like, I appreciate myself for picking up beer for tonight's meeting. And I was like, yay. And everybody's like, oh. And I said, what the hell was this? And they're like, what? And I was like, you cheer for him like that? I was like, you just won a Super Bowl, or you just scored a touchdown, and this is how you're gonna scream and yell at him? And they were like, no. And I was like, okay, so let's try this again. He just scored a touchdown. How are you gonna do this? And they just scream off the top of their lungs. Ah! And then so then they go around, and then I'm on purpose ignoring that guy, just not giving him a chance. And he's like, hey, excuse me, I'd like to share one. I said, no. You
don't like it.
You don't need the appreciation.
Everybody wants to jump in on the fun.
And he's like, but I have one. Like, I want to share one. And I was like, fine, you can do. And I'm playing with him, and the other guys are loving it because they know he's a hard cookie,
Yeah.
And then at the very end, I remember this one guy, he's quite older than everybody else. he says, I want to share one too. And then all the guys just like looked at him. And I'm thinking like, what's so surprising about it? And he said, I did this. And I was like, yeah. And then he's like, okay, give me another one. He's like, and I did this. And everyone was like, yeah. And then he's like, and I said, okay, one more. He's like, yeah. And then when before we left, all the guys like stood up and they're like, you're our family. We love you. And as we're walking out, he walks over, the president walks over to me and says, Aliyah, you did something incredible here. And I said, what is it? And he's like, that guy, the very last one that went, he never speaks. And he never likes anybody. He always sits there like, why did she come over? Why did they come over? How come they're here? And he's like, and he's
Sounds Jewish.
sharing and saying all this. He's like, how did you do that? And I was like, I'll be back. I'll be back.
That's awesome. Yeah, Leah. Woo! Our celebration queen.
Yes.
You can even make like the most poopiest person to celebrate.
That was so
There's
good.
no chance, right?
It's like, yeah,
So the guy that was like, I don't need these and stuff. And he was at the end, he's like, that was really good. Like, I really like that. I was like, really?
yeah.
Everybody wants to be appreciated and noticed.
And everybody wants to play the game. You
Yeah.
know, to appreciate.
Yeah, so she knows how to play. That's good. She knows what to say. And now I remember. Do you remember, Aliyah? We invite when Paulina also joined your day club. The old men also was like, where's Paulina? Would like to talk to her because she really won them over. You remember when you?
Oh yeah,
joined,
when I
like,
was calling his
so
name.
sweet. There's a wow. What did you do? Like, and they're like, oh. That sweet voice.
Yeah.
Oh yes, of course.
It's the sage tools. I tell you, it's this power communication tools. I truly magnificent and enchanting. You can say, right?
For sure.
Enchanting, yes. And this is what this is all about. Is just using our enchanting powers.
We're little fairies.
Little fairies, yeah, exactly. To win people over and have everybody play and everybody feel good and yeah.
We are fair from the magic school.
Ooh, I like that. Mhm.
Of sage.
All right, ladies. Well, our time is coming to a conclusion for tonight. So thank you so much for your enchanting powers and sharing them here today. Thank you for your storytelling, your sweet storytelling. And we'll see each other next time.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.